guys, it's me, Carl. These are my tips for staying sane while in quarantine. Tune a banjo. Take a nap. It's one of the best ways to kill some time. Boost your confidence by fishing for compliments from a friend.
What about me do you like?
Call your Mama.
No, Mama. Planet of the Apes is not based on a true story.
Make sure to keep good hygiene. Google image TJ Maxx, just for the fun of it. Read a book.
The rum is always gone.
Tell secrets to your dog.
I killed a man.
Think of a new idea, like turning on a lamp. Become a peanut butter monster.
I'm a peanut butter monster.
Get to know your houseplants better.
I once ate 3 dozen eggs in one sitting. I haven't been the same since.
Scream. Take a nap. Start collecting cow manure. Wow, what a stack. But then realize you're not supposed to be outside, so quickly run back inside. Self-reflect. Is this really me? How did I end up in this body? What even is a body? And how are we all in these bodies on this giant rock floating through infinite space of nothingness? A dark, vast, cold, eternal nothingness. And then you realize how hungry you are. Cook an egg. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed all these tips for staying sane while in quarantine. It's obviously helping me, so I'm sure it'll help you. Seriously, I've never been better.
Sometimes I'm afraid of the dark. To be honest, I've never seen a baby pigeon. I think Power Rangers is actually a really good show, and it was before its time. I haven't paid my taxes in 10 years. To be honest, I don't even know what a tax is. At this point, I'm just too afraid to ask. Turtles actually freak me out. To be honest, I lost my toothbrush about a month ago.
What's up, guys? This is video 2, episode 2, whatever you want to call it. We're not quite sure what to call it ourselves yet because we're still adjusting to it, just like y'all. But this is our second video of the online sold-out student ministries. Landon is going to talk to us about what happened on our Zoom hangout we had Wednesday night, and then tell us a little bit more about the game and how that's going to work going forward.
Yeah.
Well, this Wednesday for our first Zoom call, we had our first winner. That was Jordan. And he blew the competition out of the waters.
He did.
Even me and Ronald, who
He barely blew me out.
are survival experts,
Yes.
to say the least. But with all that winning, he chose a loser's meal. He chose Chick-fil-A.
Jesus Chicken isn't a loser's meal. He
That's
was a
true.
winner.
He chose my loser meal, Brittany's winner meal,
Yeah.
I love
Ronald's average
Chick-fil-A.
meal.
I'm
But-
proud of you, Jordan.
With that win, he secured the first tallies for the youth-wide scorekeeping, which I've been informed the numbers are for Jordan. Since he won, he will be receiving 500 points. Our second place will be receiving 300 points. Third place will be receiving 100 points. And just to be there, you get 50 points. So even if y'all don't know what's going on, just show up, because the little points could help you in the end.
What are those points for?
Well,
What did they get?
we aren't just talking small prizes about meals or anything. At the end of all this, we've decided that the grand prize will be something worth around $100.
100 big ones.
And we haven't decided quite what the prize is yet, but by the next Wednesday or next recording, we'll probably have an idea of what we're going to be giving away.
We're trying to figure out what would be the best. We
Yeah,
wanna give you a
'cause-
good
And I mean,
prize.
We don't want to just give y'all money because that's too useful. We need to give y'all something from our hearts.
plus if you show up to any of the Zoom meetings, you can give us some input, kind of plant the idea in our mind, or the seed. And
Yeah, we
all
are
that.
going to be asking like what y'all would like to start hearing, if there's any kind of topics y'all are interested in.
No idea is a bad idea.
Yeah.
except for the bad ideas.
So if you have an idea, if you need some ideas for this time in quarantine, because we don't know how long it's gonna last, ask.
Forever.
So yeah. Another thing is we also have resources, which we talked about last video. So throughout the week, you good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We have resources. So throughout the week, I know some girls texted me and said they needed some workout music. They need some music for their prayer time. There are playlists on our YouTube channel, and then I also have my own personal playlist. I'm sure they have playlists as well they can send you. So there's playlists on there there's a Bops playlist, which has some great, like,
Bangers.
KB and Andy Mineo and
Joey Vantes.
Landon's favorite, Holvey. Is that how you say his
Holvey.
name? I can't ever say his name right. And then we've also got some.
Hey, Mom.
We've also got like some sermons and devos on there from Michael Todd, from Judah Smith, which is one of my favorites. We've got Stephen Furtick on there. There's a few different ones, but you can go in there and listen to those podcasts, those sermons, just throughout the week. So, and then side note, we got all our social medias up and running. We're trying to be a little more present on those. So you got Facebook, you've got Snapchat, and you've got what's the other one? Instagram.
We're
so,
fancy. We on the gram.
So yeah, we're gonna try to keep y'all up to date on that. We're not gonna try to post too much on there because there's lots of things going out on social media. But we are gonna keep you just up to date on what's going on with our virtual videos right now. So.
Whoa, we're in virtual videos?
Is that the right term? That didn't sound right. SSM virtually.
All videos are virtual.
They are. But as we're in this time of quarantine, we're gonna try to keep y'all up to date with what's going on with us. So yeah. Is there anything else y'all have before we jump into the message?
Well, I know now that we're through all the intro mumbo jumbo and updates and all that. How y'all week?
It's been good. It has been a little slow this week. My small group has been reading Revelation, so that's been interesting. Revelation is hardcore. So yeah, I've been reading that, and then went and played disc golf some. We did a workout disc golf. Lord, that was hard. But yeah, been working out with my roommates, and it's been fun. So that's been my week.
Well, as y'all know from last week, I've been sleeping in. But I fixed that this week. I haven't slept past 1. So big improvements out here. I've also played disc golf almost every day. It's pretty crazy.
Even the day he woke up like 5 minutes before they started playing.
That's true. He said, we're going at 1. And I said, it's 12:45. I'll be there. But, yeah, it's been a great week.
What about you, Ronnie?
It's been an interesting week to say the least. I can't
7
complain
books.
too much. No, I'm taking it only a couple books at a time now instead of all of them at once. The internship's starting to wrap up, so we're finishing stuff up there. One of my online classes reset itself, so thankfully I had all my notes and answers to tests, and I'm just going through putting all that information back in. And
It used to be a
it's-
1.
True. It does pay off. But yeah, it's been interesting, and I'm kind of ready to not be in the new normal we currently find ourselves in. I
For
miss
sure.
the community and hanging out, and
We got worship
We
coming
miss y'all.
afterwards. I'm going to be playing on the stage. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, we have been working on some worship songs. So once we're back in our room, Landon will hopefully get up there with me, and we'll have Micah and whoever else jumps on stage with
Ronald's
us.
going to be up there.
Ronald, you getting up there?
I'll be playing all 32 channels on the soundboard.
That was
So yeah, we've really we're trying to really get prepared for whenever that time is when we get to see y'all again, get to play some volleyball or whatever it is. We miss y'all a lot. I know I miss all my girls, and I'm sure y'all miss all the guys as well.
I miss both parts of the youth group.
Right.
I do. I miss all the youth.
Y'all are all
Y'all
special
know
to
what
me.
I mean. Oh my goodness. I miss all the guys too.
He's just saying
Logan,
that 'cause
Brock,
we feel bad.
Luke, all of you. I miss all of you.
All 3 of them?
All, no.
Bet you can't even
She
name them.
misses the winning volleyball team too because she just wishes she was on that one.
Listen, me and Brock should have won.
No.
I don't know about Brock. I know you didn't. Anyway, also, if y'all didn't watch our blooper reel from last week, that was pretty funny. So y'all should go give that a.
And there'll be lots more from this week.
Yeah, we already took like 7 takes. Like, it's crazy.
That was fun putting that together. I had a good time. I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning putting it together because I was so bored. So, all right. Anything else we got for him? Any updates? Any life updates? Any crazy comments that you would like, or crazy noises you would like to make? No?
No?
Cool. Well, we're going to jump into this video. And then Landon is going to bring the message. What is the message titled this week?
It's. Wasn't that a cool video? It was found by Brittany, not made by Brittany. Don't get that confused.
Was it as chaotic as the last video we had?
No, this one was much more eye-appealing. It also had a nice beat to it. I personally.
The other one had a pretty good beat to it.
Oh,
it was-
like my video?
I
It was a
really
little
liked
chaotic.
it. I liked
It was
it.
a little chaotic. I'm gonna give you that. But anyway,
Okay.
So what are we talking about?
talking about addressing the mess.
Addressing the mess.
Now for today, I brought in 3 different categories of mess handling. You have a hoarder, which are pretty bad. You see those on TV. They're pretty fun to watch. You got the clutterer, which is pretty average, normal everyday people. And then you have the recycler, which is what we all claim to be, but we all know we're probably not. I wish I was a recycler, because I'm pretty green, but not at all. Okay, so for the first one we'll be discussing is the hoarder. Now, what I looked up as a definition of a hoarder is those who hold all the mess around them out of the fear that they might need it later, or a persistent difficulty discarding or parting with possessions because of a perceived need to save them. So, in these people's mind, the trash that we see is worthless, they see as something that they couldn't live without. Now, if you look at modern day, a lot of people, even though a lot of sin is bad on the outside, for some reason people can't live without it. Take all the types of addiction, like we all know face value, we shouldn't be doing those things. But for some reason they have a hold on people. And if we'll read the first one, right? Cool.
Our first verse is going to be in Luke 12, verse 34. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Now this shows that just because, you hold it dear to you, that's how it's going to reflect into your life. If you hold treasures close to you, that's kind of like, it's going to fill up your side, or fill up inside of you, and then it's going to make what you're worth. You're going to put your worth into what you hold dear to you. So if you hold trash close to you, people are going to see you as trash. If you hold something good inside of you, what you're going to be seen as good.
And that's why, like, as being a Christian, like that walking the line of, like, we talked about it a little bit about being lukewarm, like walking the line, that's so dangerous because people are going to see that. They're not going to see, the half good that you do. They're going to see, like, all that bad you do, and they're just going to be like, well, what's so different about walking with Jesus if you still have, as we're calling it, all this mess, all this trash in your life? What's so different that, and like our purpose is to show them that Jesus is the one who pulls that trash out of our lives, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it later about him helping us recycle it and letting us see who we are in his eyes and recycling it into something more beautiful and better. So yeah, that's super cool. Some people think I hoard coffee cups.
She does. She has a whole cabinet full.
I don't think I do, but same thing with that. You can hoard a lot of sin, a lot of negative feelings. We talked about negative thoughts about yourself. Like that's a mess. That's a trash that can take over your mind. And like he's saying, that's all people are going to see when they see you is this low self-esteem, which is, like we've talked about, false humility and like Chi Alpha. Yeah, so that's really cool.
That's awesome.
And then for the next verse, we have James 1-3.
James 5, 1 through 3.
Yeah,
James.
5, 1 through 3, sorry.
Come now, you rich, weep and howl for the miseries that are coming upon you. Your riches have rotted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver have corroded, and their corrosion will be evidence against you, and will eat at your flesh like fire. You have laid up treasure in the last days.
Well, that's pretty evident now. some might call these the last days, as everything's going into panic. And if what you hold close to you isn't stuff that you won't need further on, if you hoard toilet paper or hoard clean wipes just so that you might say, oh, I don't know how long this is going to last, and you hurt other people, then what does that really bring you? It might bring you a clean butt, but that's only temporary. If in the future people see you as the person who took an opportunity away from someone else that was in need, was you being prepared really all that worth it if it costed someone else being hurt by the process? And so I would say, for me, something that I've kind of hoarded for some reason is my time. I don't want to devote it to a lot of people. I like to keep it all to myself because I fear that I might not finish something when in actuality I'm not doing much. So it's no reason for me to hoard time away from opportunities that I could spend talking to friends, spend reaching out for people, spend in community. So I guess I would ask y'all, is there anything y'all might think y'all are hoarding right now? It's okay if y'all don't hoard. I mean,
I think in a way, especially in this time, the Lord is revealing like my dependency on being with people, which is okay. Like it's good to be with people, but hoarding that time to help feed like my desires and not being there for those people, if that makes sense. So checking, like we talked about, checking your motive. So checking my motive behind that and not hoarding basically my time with my friends to fulfill those desires that I feel like I need. Because again, that's just kind of like a false reality like we talked about last week. And yeah, so that's kind of, I don't know if that would line up in the same way that you're talking about your time, but that is something in this time of like isolation the Lord's been teaching me about my purpose and my motive behind hanging out with friends. So
Yeah, mine would have to be definitely time. Now that I have all this extra time on my hands, because I don't get to do all the things that we had been doing previously. So just seeing like how I'm filling my day, how I'm spending it, like where I'm putting it, and like how I look forward to helping out with different things, and like checking my motive, and like, am I looking forward to helping out with this because I'm getting to do something, I'm getting to help out, like I'm getting to help others? Or am I doing it because I get to be out of the house, I get to see people? Or am I doing it because I need to feel like I'm needed to go help and do something and like feel that time? So just being more aware of where I'm putting my time and how I'm spending it.
And another thing, thinking about like the whole idea of mess, like we're talking about it as sin, but it can be so much more than just sin. It can be pride, it can be insecurity, like that's what, whenever I first saw this video and I showed it to them, that was my first thing, was like everything, all the mess, all of the confusion that clutters our minds and doesn't let us see ourselves rightly, doesn't let us follow Jesus rightly. Like that's what we wanted to address, is saying like, hey, if you're hoarding this, or if you're even cluttering your mind with things that don't need to be cluttered, address it, allow the Lord to address it. And so yeah, are we ready to go on to the next one?
one more point. For hoarding, a lot of the times it's harmless to yourself, but like if you watch all the like big hoarder TV shows, it's a disservice to those around you more than anything. Families are pushed away because your own obsession with an idea, like, and it hurts yourself because you're not allowing other people to try and help you grow, because you become steadfast in your own segment. So for us to kind of shelter our own whatever we may hoard away from God, who wants to clean up our temple, our insides that we're hoarding all this stuff inside, it's kind of like having something that can come in and wipe everything away, but us saying, no, we want to keep it dirty. We want to keep the wall stained because, you know what, I like that little mess on the wall. It has character. So,
Or it's a memory. And
Yeah, and I'm sure like in a lot, like I used to watch hoarders TV shows. They're very interesting. It's very much like a mentality that these people face, and so often it was like there's something tragic that happened in their lives, or like there's something deep that was hidden, but they had hoarded all this stuff, and I think that was kind of like a security blanket to them. And so I think in like the spiritual aspect, I think we do that as well. Like if there's something that has happened or something we're insecure about, we hoard our time and we're like, no, this is mine. Like, I get to control this. And I think that's what hoarders think about, is they're like, oh no, I get to control this. I get to keep all this. This is mine. And like looking at that spiritually, if you're controlling your time, if you're controlling the way you hang out with your friends, if you're controlling your pride, your insecurity, that's something that you can control, when in all reality, like, who's supposed to be the one in charge of our lives? Jesus. And so hoarding, I think, in my like looking at it, is just like building on top of something that's super deep, that's a root that needs to be pulled out and addressed. So, yeah.
Well, now we'll move on to a much less fun to look at topic, which is cluttering, which is a much more average form of discarding. The definition is a collection of things lying about in an untidy mass. Now, these might be healthy things that you lay about, but when unused or put in places that they're not supposed to be, they become also mess. So let's go to 1 Corinthians 14:40.
But all things should be done decently and in order.
Now that is kind of as a standard set for us. Like, we're Christians, we're called to serve our people, serve the community, try to be like God, we were created in his image. And if we were created from a perfect God, does he not deserve our best effort to try and be in an orderly fashion? It's a disservice to yourself if you just let things lie about to not be used to their full potential. While the little effort that it would take to pick that one thing off the ground, to get rid of that one piece of sin, to just address it instead of letting it wait there for another time when it's more convenient for you. Now, it probably wouldn't hurt you in the short run, but it might hurt you in the long run. Say you leave a dumbbell on the foot you could pick up now, you trip on it in the middle of the night, now you have a sprained arm or something. Something like that.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
You leave
What's
dumbbells
crazy?
around your room,
I've done that.
hitting them midnight.
Midnight, you gotta get
I
them
don't
reps
have a
in.
dumbbell, but other things on my floor.
What's crazy about that is like just leaving it lying around, whether it's something good or something bad, like it all gets intertwined and like intertangled. So like you need something and you go for it, like you gotta go through this mess to get it. Or like you become like so wrapped up in that clutter, like you start identifying with it, or it starts becoming your identity. And when you want the good out of it, like all the bad comes along with it too.
Yeah. And I think like it's kind of a cliche to hear it, but like so true, like too much of a good thing can become a bad thing. And so like if you learn how to like not hoard your time, but you're giving your times to other things that you're not seeing Jesus in. So if you're, just for instance, because disc golf has been a huge thing in Chi Alpha, but if you're just playing disc golf 24/7 and you're not, we talked about the sacred versus the secular in Chi Alpha LTC this week. And if you're not truly seeing Jesus in everything you do, but if you're like, well, it's not sin, but if you're just filling your life with busyness, which I've gotten caught up in a lot of times because I don't like to be bored. I like to be doing things. So I just keep myself busy, and the Lord is like, okay, so you're not technically sinning, but you're also not technically building a relationship with me. And it was like, oh, okay.
Feeling that silence with your own
So Netflix, so other video games, I don't know, what else?
The double HP and triple HP stuff is over right now, so
What is that?
there's not as many video games
XP?
going on.
Remember from last time?
Yeah, XP.
Experience points.
Oh,
Experience.
yes.
That's an XP or HP.
Whatever,
You said HP.
whatever you're doing.
All I gotta say is your note. I was like,
What a
address the
nerd.
mess HP.
Misclick.
But yeah, so just keeping that in mind, like even if you learn how to stop hoarding your time, learning not to clutter it as well, and finding yourself confused in putting your time into something else that isn't building a relationship with Jesus and isn't addressing the mess. Because that's really, when you go to Jesus, that's literally what you're doing every time you go to him, is you're like, all right, Lord, and that's the desire of my heart, is every day, Lord, show me something else that needs to be chiseled away, show me something else that needs to be addressed so that I can, I won't be able to address it, but you address it and show me how to fix it.
Especially if it's gotten mixed in with all the clutter that's about.
Yeah.
We become kind of blind to it.
Well,
Unless
we're
we trip
also
over in the middle of the night.
we're also called to be obedient, and if God gives us a tool to use at a certain time, and we let it sit there, that tool can no longer be used eventually. So, not that everything has a time limit, but some things that God calls us to do have time limits. Like, say you're walking down the street. If you see someone, you could either do what God, if he's calling you to go talk to them, pray for them, you can do that, or you could set that aside and say, I'll pray for the next person you see. But you just left that person to not get Jesus or something like that. So it's just kind of being obedient to pick up that sin, to answer the call, to do the right thing in that certain time.
Yeah, and I think like you're saying, like whenever we have this saying, obedience is immediate. And so
It's a good, smart way of saying it.
same thing you're saying.
There we go.
Like if you don't immediately respond to Jesus, to what he's saying, to decluttering whatever it is, to find that good, because the beauty of it is the Lord is always gonna continue to declutter and continue to chisel away things in your heart, and he's always gonna find that beautiful thing in you, or the handsome thing in you, if you don't want to be called beautiful. He's always gonna find that beautiful thing. But the thing is, once you hear or feel that spirit in you, begin to say, hey, this is something that needs to be addressed, this is something that needs to be decluttered, do it immediately. And I'm sure we can all testify to not doing it immediately and then getting a few months down the road and being like, oh, this is why. Like, you told me this like 5 minutes ago, 5 months ago, and I didn't listen. And it begins to build, and clutter begins to get on top of it to where it becomes, oh, it's not an issue anymore. It's not a big deal. And then it's so much bigger than you thought, and you have this huge clutter. Like, when you have a room, when you're in your room and you let if you have one shirt on the ground, and then you're like, oh, I'll pick it up later. What does it turn into? There becomes more clutter around your bed, and it just begins to build and build and build. And yeah, so just like cleaning your room, clutter begins to build constantly. And if you don't pick it up a little as you go immediately, then it's just going to continue to grow, just as in our spiritual hearts as well. That little bit of sin, that little bit of pride, a little bit of insecurity continue to build. So.
Well, we go to 2 Timothy 2:15.
Love 2 Timothy 2. Can I read this one?
Where we go?
2 Timothy 2:15.
2 Timothy 2:15.
But we're gonna let Brittany read
Let
this one.
Brittany read it. I was gonna let her read the last one.
Ron has a beautiful voice, but Brittany hasn't talked.
I love 2 Timothy 2.
Wait, Brittany hasn't talked? What's she been doing?
I haven't.
Any of the scriptures?
I haven't
Oh,
read.
okay, she hasn't read.
Yeah.
Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth.
Well,
There.
that's a pretty good one. Personally, I like that one a lot because while mess isn't inherently, bad, because you can usually close the door and only you have to deal with it. But if you would be scared to let your mom see your room cluttered, scared to let your friend see your room cluttered,
Like Monica's closet?
You did a Friends reference.
that was crazy. I didn't even know Ron would watch that. Dude.
Whoa. I'm so sorry. I love Friends. Okay,
She
continue.
has an obsession with it. But if you wouldn't want everyone to know that you secretly have this little clutter, imagine how the most perfect, the one above all, the one who created all, how you'd feel whenever you sat down in front of him. He said, you could have picked up that one shirt and you were like, God, I could have done that, but I set it aside. Like, wouldn't you feel more ashamed? Like, that would be magnified by 100-fold if you actually had to answer to him. Mm-hmm. But we get this idea in our minds that who are we answering to? We're answering to ourselves. We're answering to someone less worthy of being clean. But in actuality, everyone deserves our best effort. We should be trying to put on our cleanest effort. We should try to clean our cars, clean everything, so that whenever people sees our life, they see us being 100% trying to be the best that we can be. Because that's what we're chasing. We're chasing a perfect image, the one that made us.
Yeah. The Lord calls us to be good stewards of everything we do. And that's in your everyday life as well. Like he's saying, in your room, in your car, which you've never washed your car once.
I have not. This message has fallen on an empty year. Wow. So after this, I will go clean my car.
But yeah, the Lord does call you to be good stewards of everything. And the Lord's showing that to me in my budgeting. I really love Chick-fil-A. I really love Starbucks. But if I'm not being a good steward, that's another form of clutter.
Get her. Darn.
Darn.
So yeah, just I lost my train of thought because y'all started saying
You
darn.
technically started us off on the darn at the beginning. You said it a couple times.
Yeah, so decluttering your life in that way and allowing the Lord to show you how to be a good steward in all parts of your life. Like I know even the interns, being good stewards of your body like that. Like
Working out is part of the internship. So if you thought when you graduated, went into the like real world, you wouldn't have to work out anymore, that's not true. Especially if you do the internship, like if we're to be good stewards, like we have to be physically fit. Like we got to take care of ourselves, mentally, physically, spiritually, like all the way around. Because like I can't go on campus and try to share Jesus with somebody, and they're running around at the rec, and I'm like, oh, I want to go run around with them. If I'm like sucking wind, like I can't share with them, or I can't interact in something that they love doing, like playing basketball or playing soccer, because I'm way better at soccer than I am at basketball. But that's a different story.
Because your body's also a tool that Jesus wants to use.
Yeah.
And if we don't, oil our tool, it'll eventually get creaky and we can't use it for whenever we have the opportunity to use our tool.
Or like going back to the car reference, since we talked about that a little bit earlier, like if you don't take care of your car, you don't change the oil, you just don't change the tires, like you don't take care of it at all, at some point you're going to be driving down the road and it's just going to quit and give up on life.
You'll lose out on opportunities that you could have made it to.
Unless you were supposed to get stranded and then get rescued and share Jesus with whoever rescued you, but
That's God.
just take care of your car.
yeah, and if you look at the way, Jesus, he lived his life, he was so respectful and he stewarded everything. And he taught people the importance of, the time when it's time to like declutter and time to work, but he also showed you the time when it's time to be still. So like if you look at the classic story of Mary and Martha was running around trying to clean and cook and do whatever, and Mary was just sitting at his feet. And so learning that balance of, okay, Lord, I have all this clutter in my life, I've got to get it out. And I think so often we think in ourselves we're the ones who have to get it out, when he's the one. You're going to have to sit at his feet and he's going to begin to declutter your life. It is going to take action steps on your part, but he's the one who's going to give you the action steps and give you the capacity to be able to complete those action steps, because it's not going to be anything you can do on your own. So just knowing like if you're realizing in this moment, as Landon's speaking about these things, like I think I'm hoarding, or I think I'm cluttering something in my life, don't let that overwhelm you. Let that give you the power and the encouragement to go and sit at Jesus' feet and be like, okay, here's my clutter, here's my mess. Like that was my heart whenever I saw this video. And I know when we talked about it, like just coming before the Lord and saying, Lord, I don't know what this is. It's gross, it's nasty, it's not good to look at. I don't like looking. I kind of push it aside. But here it is. Take it and make something beautiful out of it, which is that last part we're going to talk about, right?
Recycling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
And recycling has one of the easiest definitions.
Sorry. I just noticed I wrote another darn.
There's another darn
Oh my God.
in her notes.
That's a darn.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's cool.
I just thought it was
I interrupted
funny.
myself. But for recycling, it's simple. 3 words: to use again.
Use again.
Or, if you want a longer definition, it's to convert waste into reusable material. Oh yeah.
That's
So
good.
we only got 1 verse for this one, and it's most likely my favorite verse of this entire thing that I found. So if we can read Jeremiah 18:1-6. This one's a little long. Stay with us.
Do I have this one?
You got it.
Okay, I got it.
Wait, whoa, I want to read this one.
Oh,
This is my
changing
favorite
it
one.
up.
Says, the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord: arise and go to the potter's house, and there I will let you hear my words. So I went down to the potter's house, and there he was, working at his wheel. And the vessel he was making of clay was spoiled in the potter's hand, and he reworked into another vessel, as it seemed good to the potter to do. Then the word of the Lord came to me. But that's the end, so we don't know what the word was. But anyway, in this illustration, it's probably what I found the most beautiful, was that the potter, he's making this, and it's his life. He makes pottery, and he's making this vase and it starts to fall apart. It starts to become something he no longer wants it to be. And he doesn't throw away the clay because it started to deform. He mashes it back down and he reforms it into a new vessel that was better than the one before. He makes the faults that made it fall the first time no longer there. He makes a more structured base, and he overall just improves the entire quality of the vase. Now, if he had just thrown away the clay, that would have been a waste of material. He would have probably lost something in cost. He would have had to gather new clay, prepare new material, but he didn't. He said, this is still good. It's not bad yet. This is still good. I can still make it into something new.
Something new, something beautiful.
And I think that's something that we could all learn from, as we can either see this as us being the potter and our life kind of being the clay, because sometimes we reach a point to where we think it's too far gone. We think we've done too much bad to ever be right again. But in actuality, we have the tools to take our life back, to reform it into something that we'd be proud of, that we would hope our parents would be proud of, that God would be proud of. And all it takes is the mentality of, I still have time. I still have, the capability. Now, it's not 100% us, for sure. We don't have all of it, because there's a lot more that needed to work yourself back into it. And that's why I think it also can be seen as the potter being God and us being the clay. Because once we've accepted that we need to be changed, we give the one up above the ability to reform us. We let him put his hands into our life to shape us how he had planned us originally, how we had went away because we wanted to be a cup instead of a vase. We wanted to be a bowl for some reason. But in actuality, he planned us to be a flower pot so that we could, show something. So I think recycling is all about seeing the potential that you could be and becoming that.
I think also, and I know we talked about looking at it as, looking at yourself as a potter, like you actually getting in and working the clay yourself, but also surrendering that to Jesus. And I was sitting here and I hadn't ever seen this before, but there's this little excerpt in my Bible, and it's talking about Jeremiah 18, and it's saying in this passage, God actually underscores his power to create destruction. So like you're talking about, we think we go and try to become something else after he's already shaped us into what he wants us to be, and he's continually shaping us into what he wants us to be. But it says, as his children, we remember that the mold was perfect before sin, and because of Christ, he still works to shape us back into his original plan of perfection. Yes, we may be one turn of the wheel away from suffering, but we are always within an arm's reach of redemption. As his clay, spinning in the tension of grief and grace, that's so good, we can fix our eyes on the still patient potter. He can still be trusted to make each of us into a beautiful masterpiece. That's so good. I think realizing that, yes, it's gonna hurt. Like, there's this video called The Chisel. If you've never seen it, go watch it. Or it's called God's Chisel.
We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, well,
yeah, we can do that.
It is so
YouTube.
good. And it's literally, this guy comes before the Lord. He's like, and we've been talking about coming before the Lord saying, hey, I've got this mess that I need to work out, or maybe you need to work out. So help me out. And so he begins chiseling. God comes in and begins chiseling away. And he's like, whoa, dude, that hurts. Like, God, why are you chiseling away at that? And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be uncomfortable because, like, if you look at the way a potter, like, mixes a clay and forms it, it's not like it's a beautiful, like, slow process. But at the beginning, it's a lot of just, like, forceful. He's in there with his hands, and so allowing allowing yourself to, I don't know how to, I've never done pottery, but I've seen videos.
She's currently watching Community, so she's seen X.
But allowing yourself to be in that, like it's saying, that tension of grief and grace. So allowing yourself to grieve over those things that you may lose. So like we talked about hoarders and cluttering, like those people like were so attached to those things. They're like, no, like this is my identity, this is who I am. This piece of Tupperware, I remember watching a lady who was so invested in Tupperware, and she was like, I can't get rid of this.
Hey, there's some Tupperware you can't find anymore these days.
For that reason, don't pour it.
Yeah. But small things like that, like, my boyfriend is my identity. I can't get rid of him. My sports is my identity. I can't get rid of that. So there's gonna be pain in that because you've invested in those things, whatever it is. Video games is important to me. Netflix is important to me. Social media is important to me because we invest so much time into things, and then we come before the Lord and we're like, okay, I have all this mess. I don't know what to do. And then He's like, okay, break up with your girlfriend, break up with your boyfriend. And you're like, whoa. Like, I brought this to you, but not to do that, not to cause pain on me. And that's what it's saying. Like, as His clay, we're spinning in the tension of grief and grace. And so we're gonna experience grief because we're human, and He's gonna say things are gonna need to die. We're gonna have to get rid of things. But then there's gonna be grace on the other side of that, where He's gonna show you something more beautiful, and He's gonna form you into something that you're meant to be. That you thought you were supposed to be a little bitty bowl, and then He comes and makes you, what do you say, a flower pot?
Yeah, sure.
A beautiful flower pot, whatever it is. And so surrendering your clay to Jesus and allowing Him to spin you in that tension of grief and grace, and accepting that no matter how much it hurts. Yeah.
I think there's something to learn from like having to deal with the pain, because it's not a fast process. It's something that you have to be willing to go through with. Because the potter doesn't quit halfway through saying, this pot is going to be beautiful, but I don't really want to work at it, so I'll just think of what it could have been. If God was even slightly impatient with the project that is us, He would have thrown us out a long time ago. He would say, this is going to be a beautiful vase, but it has a lot of things I have to work through that the pot doesn't want to give up. But if we're willing to fully devote, that we want to become that beautiful flower pot, if we want to be something other than just a simple bowl, then we have to be willing.
There's nothing wrong with being a bowl.
There's nothing wrong.
Especially like a big
But you
cereal
could
bowl.
be something else.
Whatever.
Those who are
Jesus
designed to
calls
be
you
a bowl, be a bowl.
be a bowl.
But if you're not supposed to be a bowl, don't be a bowl. You're going to have holes and stuff. You're not going to hold it. But it takes 100, like not 100%, it takes the mentality that it's going to get better.
Yep.
That you have to keep working at it, that you can't give up whenever it gets hard. Because if you do, your potential will be wasted, your clay will grow hard, and you won't be able to be used again.
Yeah.
You won't be able to be the beautiful project that God could use someday, that He's going to put on display in heaven. You're going to get up there and you're going to be like, wow, look at that flower pot. Look at that bowl. Something like that. But if you give up halfway, there's going to be a mound of clay that could have been something beautiful.
Yeah.
So don't live with regret. Don't live with stuff. Always finish.
Yeah. And jumping on that spinning, whatever they call it.
Spindle?
Yeah, that thing. Jumping on that can be really scary, but allowing yourself to stay on that throughout your whole life, and like we're talking about, allowing the Lord to recycle things in your heart to become something beautiful. So if it's anger, allowing that to become righteous anger, because that is like there's a purpose for righteous anger, and it's to see sin, to see something that may be a hoarding problem, that may be a clutter, maybe a mess. See that and have righteous anger for that, and want to fix it. Whether that's pride and learning how to recycle that into humility, which the Lord that's what He's working on in me right now. Like just working on humility and not having this false sense of humility. So just surrendering all those things, no matter how vulnerable and scary it may be, because you're literally offering everything you have to Jesus and saying, I don't know what this is. I don't see any beauty in any of this mess, but please find something and pull it out and make me what I'm supposed to be. And a few years ago, I did a message called God's Masterpiece, and we talked about how the Lord never stops forming and perfecting His masterpieces. That's the beauty of it. Like most artists, they make a masterpiece, they make an art piece, they move on to the next one. But the beauty of God's artwork is that He never stops forming, He never stops adding things, He never stops correcting things. He's always forming, He's always recycling, He's always moving in your life and always wanting to make you even more beautiful of a masterpiece than you already are. And so recognizing that and not seeing it like it is going to be a process, but seeing it as worth the process. And I always say, trust the process. That's like my life quote, because I don't ever understand.
It's right there with her napping quote.
I'm good at napping, and I trust the process.
Yeah, so that's really good. I really love that.
Awesome.
Ephesians 2:10 says that we are God's workmanship, His masterpiece. I don't know about you, but when I get up in the morning and look in the mirror, I don't really see a masterpiece, you know? I mean, maybe a Picasso. It's like, but I want to be His masterpiece. I want to be everything He created me to be. And so I go to Him in prayer and I say, Dear Heavenly Father, do whatever it takes to mold me into the image of your Son. Make me your masterpiece. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Hi,
Whoa, who are you?
I'm God. You said the prayer, so here I am.
You're not God.
No, I am. You said the prayer. That's how it works.
Okay. If you're God, then make it snow in here.
You know what? I really don't want to make it snow in here because it'd get kind of yucky.
Yeah, you're not God.
Why do you say that?
God wouldn't say yucky.
I do. It's a Greek word.
Oh. Okay. If you're God, what does Lamentations 15:9 say?
Lamentations is only 5 chapters. It's a very short book.
Oh. Why was it so short?
I was tired of lamenting.
Oh. Okay. If you're God, who's going to win the World Series this year?
I'm really not into playing games. Why are you so much into playing games?
You are God.
What gave it away?
You answered my question with a question.
I did? Yeah, I do that, don't I? I did it again. Step right up. Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, what are we doing?
I'm going to make you into my original masterpiece. This is the process.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Wait. What are these about?
These are the tools I'm going to use to make you into my original masterpiece.
Okay. Hang on.
Yeah,
I thought you were a carpenter.
that's my son. Step right up. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, hey, God. How do you know what to chisel away and what to leave?
I take out everything in your life that doesn't belong there, kind of like dead weight.
Ooh, speaking of dead weight, could you chisel right here? It showed up when I was in my 20s and grew around and became back fat. I don't even know why you created that, but I can't get rid of it. I mean, I've tried everything. Like, I tried running, I tried lifting weights. My wife actually talked me into trying Pilates. That was awkward, but I can't get rid of it. So if you would just chisel around here, and then, you know what, if you chisel a line right here and maybe 8 lines right here, that would be awesome.
You're funny.
You made me that way.
I also made the platypus.
With the platypus.
All I'm saying is most of my children, when it comes to this process, they just want to talk, but they don't want to do the work. So do you want to talk or can I chisel? Talk, chisel.
No. I choose to chisel.
All right. Through my Holy Spirit, I'm going to bring up things in your life that I want you to work on. Like your anger. I created the emotion, but you use it in the wrong way. You compare yourself to others instead of me. You tell little white lies because you want to people please. You're lazy, but you try to fool everybody by looking really, really busy. You have a problem with lust?
Time out. I don't really have a problem with lust.
You don't have a problem with lust.
No, I can do it anytime I want. Hang on a second. I mean, I got to admit, I feel like you've been doing some great work, and I'm looking pretty good right now.
All right, when you look in the mirror, who do you see?
I see me.
Okay, then I need to keep chiseling away because ultimately you and other people need to see my son.
Okay, don't misunderstand me. It's just when I look more like Jesus, people get uncomfortable around me. I mean, even my church friends, and they're like, "Oh, you're holier than thou," you know. And I don't think I'm supposed to make people uncomfortable.
So what you're saying is you'd rather play God in certain areas of your life than for me to be God over your whole life.
That is not what I said.
That's what you meant.
Yes, it is. It's hard to talk to you. You know everything that I'm thinking. I'm just saying you've done some great work. Maybe we take a break, a sabbatical from each other, you know. I'll stay right here, and then,
That's just it. You never just stay right there. You're either moving toward me or away from me, but never you just stay. What you're doing is called control. Do you want to control things in your life, or can I chisel? Control, chisel, control,
No,
chisel.
chisel.
All right.
But can we chisel where I want?
That's called control.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Now this right here, this secret sin that you keep running to whenever you're hurting, angry, lonely, tired, that you think you're fooling everybody, but it's making you a whitewashed tomb. Are you ready for me to chisel this out of your life?
Yeah.
See, it's a process. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's your whole life. And you care so deeply about what other people think of you. It's rubbish. It's garbage. The greatest thing you're ever going to hear is at the end of your life when you hear me say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That's what you keep your eye on. That's the prize, heavenward.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, trust me, this hurts me more than it hurts you.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't think you understand this pain.
Pardon me?
You're asking me to sacrifice a lot, God.
Don't talk to me about sacrifice. I know all about sacrifice. I sent my son to die on the cross for pain, for sin, but I also did it for another reason, to give you freedom. Do you know what insanity is? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. And there are things that you've been doing for years, these empty wells that don't have anything to offer. You've been going to them, and it's insane. Allow me to chisel them out of your life. Allow me to produce character where you keep focusing so much on your image.
Okay, but I was thinking.
Your thoughts are not my thoughts.
Okay, but if we went another way.
Your ways are not my ways.
Oh, I can't.
You can't what?
I can't be good.
That's your excuse. That's your excuse, is that you can't be good.
It's not an excuse. I can't.
Oh, my child. In the beginning, I said it was good. I made you good. Be good.
Yeah, but you and I both...
What?
Nothing.
No, what is it?
Nothing, okay? You wouldn't understand.
I, God of all the universe, wouldn't understand something one of my children has to say. Try me.
It's just, I let you down so many times, God.
No, my child. You were never holding me up. I hold you up with my victorious, righteous right hand. Never the other way around. In this relationship, I hold you up.
Okay. And chisel away. But just be prepared for what you're going to find in there. Because I know who's inside there. Because I get up every morning and I look at him in the mirror and I hate who I see. Because deep inside there, this little kid who gets up every morning and dresses like an adult. And I go out and I try to do what I'm supposed to do, but I can't, okay? I can't be who everybody else expects me to be. God, I can't even be who I want to be, much less who you created me to be. And so inside is this scared, stupid little kid. But you chisel away. Just be prepared.
You have listened to so many voices for far too long that were not from me. And you have totally bought into the lie, haven't you? You think you're junk, don't you? When you lay your head down at night after you've done the dance to get the hug, you think you're junk. Listen to me. I don't take time to make junk. How can I show you that my love for you stretches as far as the east to the west? How can I show you that my love for you has no end? I know. Reach in your back pocket.
What?
Reach in your back pocket.
Why?
Are you arguing with me? Reach in your back pocket.
Oh, God.
Yes?
I just meant, God, I'll do that right now.
You're just saying my name in vain.
Come on. It's a name. It's a saying.
It's a name above all names. It's more than a saying. It's more than a name. I want to teach you something about my name. Reach in your back pocket.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what that is?
Yeah, it's a note. I wrote it when I was in college. How did you get this?
Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and read it.
I love Angie.
Other side.
Sorry. Dear God, did I hear you right today? Did I hear you say that you love me? Even though you and I both know I've messed up so many times. Did I hear you say You want to use me. And I feel so useless. If you'll take me and use me, then God, I give you all that I am. Take me. I love you, God.
I love you too. And I love you too much just to leave you where you're at. This salvation that you hold, I don't want it to be some sentimental gush or some head knowledge. I want you to work it out in every detail of your life. And when problems come and chaos happens, don't look at it as a prison, but look at it as a father disciplines his child. A father disciplines the ones he loves.
I know, but it's going to be tough.
Yes, but you bought into the lie thinking everything was going to be easy when you gave everything over to me. There will be trouble in this world, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. I want you to do something. I want you to look out there and I want you to say, Tommy is God's original masterpiece.
Tommy is God's...
No, not the way you see yourself or you try so desperately for others to see you, but maybe for the first time in your life, the way I see you, the way I created you.
Tommy is God's original masterpiece.
Yes, you are.
And so are you. God doesn't make junk. You are an original masterpiece.
We are so thankful for y'all. We can't wait to actually see your faces, and hopefully I get to win in volleyball next time. Maybe.
My team's gonna win. Sorry.
No.
Keegan's team is gonna win again.
But if y'all have anything throughout the next week or so that you're just really struggling with, that you're really trying to figure out how to address whatever mess you have in your heart, whatever mess that the Lord revealed through this. It was so good, Landon. Thank you. Whatever the Lord addressed in this, whether that's you hoarding something, cluttering something, or not knowing how to properly allow the Lord to recycle something in your heart, call one of us, text one of us, and we may not have the answer right away, but I'm
we
sure
have lots of resources.
Yeah, we can find something, and we just want to be with you as you walk through this process, because this is gonna be a really scary process of digging up things in your heart and your mind that nobody else has ever seen. You know, all of us have experienced that, to where it's really scary, because it's like, no, this stuff is too dark, it's too messy, it's too ugly for anybody to see. Let alone God, the creator of the universe. He already sees it. He already knows.
Fun fact, he already sees it.
He already knows. But the cool thing is, he also sees what's on the other side of that, and he sees what he can make in that. So let us walk through that process.
What's crazy about that, like, he not only already sees it, but he's like, I'm still gonna send my son for you. Like, I still want you, even though you come with all those problems. Or after we work all these things, but I still want you.
Yeah, I heard this thing that, as Jesus was dying on the cross, he saw all the mess. He saw all the sin.
It's a real reason.
And yet he was like, they're still worth it. And so, if y'all have any questions or just need help walking through whatever process you're walking through right now,
We'll
call one
be
of us.
a garbage man for you. We'll be a potter for you. We'll be a sister in your organization if that's what need be.
Yeah.
Never think it's too dark. You know how to get rid of darkness? Shine some light on it.
Shine some light on it.
Yeah. The darkness can't stand in the light. So,
The opposite of light.
yeah. So bring it to light and allow the Lord to kill it. So, all right. We love y'all. We will see y'all at 7:30.
7:30.
Next Wednesday. I want to see more of y'all's faces because I miss all of you.
Don't let Jordan win again.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it if you won again. I'm fine with it.
Let somebody else get Chick-fil-A.
They don't need
Or anything else you want. Support
You can get
local,
whatever
I mean,
you
do
want.
whatever.
Even Red Lobster.
No, not Red Lobster.
But we will have
Unless you really want it. I really want it.
Wait, did you get Red Lobster?
I want Red Lobster.
Goodness. Okay.
That's why I'm winning.
That's why he's not allowed to win.
He's not winning. We love y'all. We will see you at 7:30. Jump on. We'll be sending the information for that on Wednesday. We love y'all. See y'all next week.
Remember, do your part. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. Bye.